bad move.
That's your Sunday Funday.
Is it?
My name is Jansen Lukumbo.
Doesn't matter where you start at.
I want to be NBA player.
It only matters where your heart's at.
I'm gonna do whatever it takes to help my team win, and I'm gonna win the MVP.
Make the impossible doable. I just want you to know you could be far from the usual. Anything you want, you can get it. Chasing dreams like you really can't lose. All you gotta do is get it.
My goal is to win a championship, and we're gonna do whatever it takes to make that happen.
So follow your dream.
So close, so close. Giannis should be having fun too, because the dream, I mean, it's right there. He is already a two-time MVP, and the championship, that is within reach. In fact, the last player to put numbers up like Giannis has through the first 2 games of the finals, well, that player went on to win finals MVP. His name was Shaq. But Dan, the concept of a team sport, because you got to have friends, and the Bucks, not named Giannis, have been a little MIA of late. So the pressure is most definitely on. Here's Malika.
You guys come out, you guys show your support, and we're gonna get it done. We're gonna win the championship.
Giannis, when you signed the Supermax to stay in Milwaukee, you said that one of your intentions was to bring a championship culture here. And here you are, about to play in the first finals game in Milwaukee in nearly 50 years. What does that feel like?
It's a great feeling. Obviously excited to, play a game like that in Milwaukee. The fans, the city, everybody's going to be a part of it. I've been here 8 years now. This opportunity, that we have to, get it done.
And someone's down, and it looks like it's Giannis. This is something you absolutely don't want to see.
I know that you don't want to talk about your knee. Your knee's in the past, but you said that you didn't go back and watch that clip. Why did you make that decision?
Because when I watch the clip, I might be like, oh, it's way worse than what I felt. I'm always, telling myself, like, I don't feel pain. Like if you keep telling yourself you're healthy and strong, you're going to be healthy and strong. If you keep telling yourself you don't feel pain, you're not going to feel pain. Like that's, the mindset I have, and that's all I can, keep worrying about.
Plus, you look pretty healthy on that chase down block of Jay Crowder that you had the other day, so.
Yeah, I was okay.
Your free throws. You said that, of course, you hear the 1, 2, 3 from the entire arena. You can't not hear that.
Yeah, it's kind of hard not to hear 20,000 people screaming out of the lungs, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever the case might be. But it kind of feels good though when you make it. Like if it's quiet and you make it, it's normal filter. But when everybody's yelling and you make it, it kind of feels good. So I kind of like make it fun. They're just doing their job. They're just enjoying the game.
You said that you feel like you've matured over your time in the league. How has that served you?
I'm still going hard, as I said. Like that's who I am. I should not be playing a game 6-7 days after I almost was out for the year. But that's who I am. I'm like, well, I don't care, And there's people that help me manage that drive, because sometimes that drive can throw you off the cliff. That's who I am, and that's who I'm gonna always be. Not just in basketball. That's how I am in life.
The great Tim Legler pointed out what I would challenge him on, however, is what he left out. Yes, they came in with a game plan. They made the necessary adjustments to start game 2. But obviously, if you're Budenholzer, you're going up against Monty Williams and a coach on the floor in CP3, who hit about 50% of his shots, finished with 23 points, 8 assists, even though he turned the ball over 6 times. You see Devin Booker hitting shots early, okay, from 3-point range, and assistant coaches are looking to talk to Budenholzer, and Budenholzer's not even listening to them, okay? He's not making any in-game adjustments. That was a pivotal problem as far as I'm concerned. We can look at Drew Holiday and no 7 for 21 shooting. He was absolutely awful offensively. Middleton, he really needs to look in the mirror. When Pat Connaughton has more points than you coming off the bench, he had 14, you had 11, even though you took 6 more shots. That's incredibly problematic. You waste an effort from Giannis Antetokounmpo, who was nothing short of sensational, and primarily because you didn't make the necessary in-game adjustments. It's like any time you throw a monkey wrench into the plan that Budenholzer had coming into it, then he seems to be a bit flummoxed. And I thought that was a problem tonight. They couldn't make the necessary adjustments. And by the way, guys, Tim Legler, me, Scott Van Pelt, none of us mentioned Mikal Bridges. 27 points tonight and 7 rebounds. And he hit about 50% of his shots as well. They probably didn't count on that. That hurt him, but they let Devin Booker get off early, find his rhythm, find his groove. They did very little about that until it really mattered most. And at the end of the day, it cost them.
Well, Bridges is going to have an opportunity to be talked about as he will join us here momentarily off a spectacular performance. And I wonder, Tim, as you hear Stephen A. describe the adjustments that Budenholzer made to start but didn't make here, it's a make-miss league. I mean, I feel like the Bucks played awfully good defense, but they got chasing, and that one sequence we showed on 10 passes, I don't know how they could have been any better.
Yeah, to Stephen A's point, and he's right about this, when they go watch the film tomorrow, if there is one thing that they never really adjusted to was an overcommitment to dribble penetration. You don't need to flood 3-4 guys to the lane on dribble penetration against Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges. You don't. You've got length at the rim with Brook Lopez and Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's where the Bucks came up small. Too many guys flooding to the paint, and watch how many times in this game you'd have a drive from the right wing and a kick to the left corner because they're floating to the corner off of that penetration.
Right.
Mike Budenholzer actually said it at his end of quarter interview. If there's one thing I saw in the first quarter, I think we're over-helping on penetration. They never really adjusted to that.
Right.
This is a team that 16 made threes through 3 quarters, had 4 more in the fourth. That really put the game away with some real daggers when the Bucks made it close.
Stephen A., you and I, we made a mistake a couple of years ago. With this Bucks team, they had a 2-0 series lead on Toronto. And you and I, on this show, we used the term wrap. We were incorrect. I'm not asking you if this is a wrap, but based on what you've seen in these 2 games in Phoenix, what would have to happen for you to believe that something other than the Suns winning 2 more games in this series is going to happen?
Well, Giannis has to get some help offensively from the backcourt, whether it's Jrue Holiday or Middleton. Both of them are being paid exorbitant amount of dollars to show up when it counts, and they've been non-existent as far as I'm concerned on the offensive end of the floor. That would be one thing. Another thing is attack DeAndre Ayton. Remember, Dario Saric has torn his ACL, okay? And now tonight, Craig goes down, and he's got an injury as well. They're very thin on their front line. The Milwaukee Bucks are effective on their front line offensively. Attack the interior. Get Ayton out of there and make Phoenix go considerably small. So when you go small as the Milwaukee Bucks, you're still big because you got Giannis at the 5. This to me is something that they should be doing, and it's very simple. I'm not going to call it a wrap. We're not going to make the same mistake, SVP, that we made a couple of years ago against Toronto. But I will tell you this: you better win these 2 games, because if you only win one, I'm not going to disrespect them by assuming they're going to get swept. But if you don't win both of these games in Milwaukee, this series is going to end in 5 right here in Phoenix, and Phoenix is going to capture the championship. Milwaukee's got to go back. They got to win both games. They got to stop worrying about sending out petitions to keep people like me from coming to town. And instead, what they need to do is put forth the petitions against their coach and players and say, rise to the occasion and get it done, because we got a lot on the line here. They've got to play better. They've got to play better defensively, and your guards, who are making a lot of money in Jrue Holiday and Middleton, who both can play the game. They're not scrubs. You got to show up, and Giannis shouldn't have to be on the sideline imploring you to step it up. You should know automatically that's what you're supposed to be doing. It's the damn finals. It's the NBA finals. This ain't a regular season game. It's on the line. They got to show up.
The point that Stephen A. makes about Saric being injured and Craig going out is interesting, because I felt like we heard I felt like both Van Gundy and Jackson pointed out there was a fatigue level that evidenced itself at times with the Suns. Again, they had every answer, but at some point that depth, which was a luxury for this Suns team, is going to become, I don't want to say a weakness, but it's not a luxury anymore. The fatigue does feel like it could be a factor moving forward for the Suns team based on the absence of certainly Saric. We'll wait to find out about Craig.
Yeah, defensively, no question. They're going to be very thin up front. I'm not even sure what their solution is going to be when they have to give DeAndre Ayton a blow now. They're not going to play Kaminsky a lot of minutes, so it's no question Monty Williams has more buttons to push now as they go forward. The problem is this, though. When you look at the Suns' role players, and you look at a guy like Bridges, who is a role player on this team, has 27 points. The reason that these guys have these kind of nights is because the ball is shared to such an extent that the looks that they get, the quality of the shot shots that they take, they always stay in their lane. And it just makes guys play with an enormous amount of confidence and comfort zone. They don't have to try to do anything outside of themselves. And Bridges was pretty good tonight putting the ball on the floor, which he normally doesn't do. But it all stems from the fact that their role players are confident because Chris Paul and Devin Booker are controlling the game. Those guys are going to get great opportunities. And right now they're capitalizing, and the Bucks stars are not playing well.
Tim Legler, we'll get more from you a little bit later. Stephen A. Smith, quickly, going to get to Coach Bud. Go ahead, quickly, Stephen A.
I just want to chime in with what Tim Legler just pointed out that Phoenix does offensively, Milwaukee's not doing. They're not sharing the basketball. They're not trusting one another. They're not creating a lot of movement without the basketball, which is making it easier for Phoenix to defend them even when they're shorthanded because you're not challenging them. That's the problem.
Outscored by 33 from 3. That's going to be a hard math equation to make up for. You start the day early and you stay up late. First take coming in the morning, Stephen A. As always, the time's appreciated, my friend.
My man. See y'all later.
All right. Stephen A. Smith, Tim Legler. Thanks, Tim. You'll be back in a minute. Coach Bud with thoughts on falling in this 0-2 hole.